Beatrice Williams, T for short. He's an ombudsman, or the prisoner's representative for the Minnesota State Prison System.
Dear T. Williams, I've been waiting for a parole hearing since January, and it's been delayed 3 times. Could you find out why it's taken so long?
Dear Mr. Williams, my wife says that she sent me 4 letters in the last month. Well, I've never gotten any of them. Could you please find out why they're not giving me my mail?
Dear Mr. Williams, I've been in prison for 10 years. I'm studying law, and I'd like to use the facilities of the university library. Can you help me find out what special arrangements can be made?
Dear Mr. Williams, on May 7th, someone stole some personal possessions out of my cell. I think it was one of the night guards. Can you investigate?
For the 2,500 men in the prison system, T. Williams is the one they call, write, or talk to. His role as ombudsman is that of a mediator between the inmate and the system, someone to listen to the problem and see if anything reasonably can be done about it.
MSP, here I come.
Okay. See you later.
The concept of ombudsman as a public mediator originated in Sweden. The idea has spread recently to the United States, where Hawaii and Iowa both have ombudsmen representing their citizens. But T. Williams, whose territory covers 9 different prisons throughout Minnesota, is the first independent ombudsman for prisoners. A prison is a society within a society. These men may be criminals, but they have special needs, require a special kind of understanding if rehabilitation is to be achieved.
Ultimately, what you do, open it on evaluation, and then moving on to the program like that. Have they turned that down? Have you discussed that with Russell?
Russell won't do nothing about it. He won't, he's not about it.
He conducts business in a prison cell. Each contact with an inmate is followed by an in-person interview. Any complaint, justified or not, no matter how small, will be investigated by the ombudsman and his staff. T. Williams has the kindness and patience to listen and understand. Then he must pursue the facts.
I have no doubt that it will be there.
Well, how much do you have?
Is the problem being accurately seen by the prisoner? What course of action needs to be taken to solve the problem?
Given the circumstances, you know, it's either there or county jail.
He was there voluntarily.
Yeah, I know.
And he didn't say.
The head of maximum security, an inmate representative, the associate warden. T brings together people who in the past may not have talked face to face, much less thought about problems in the same way.
In order for us to be effective, we must have credibility. And that credibility must exist in 2 different worlds. One is that of the prisoner, and the other is that of the staff or the administrator. That's not an easy kind of thing to do because in many ways they see each other as the enemy. If I lean too much in either direction, I destroy myself. I grew up in the South, small town, and from a large family where we had to learn how to first get along with ourselves, which prepared us for dealing with other people. And that was not an easy thing because being black and living in the South when black people were highly discriminated against, it sort of taught one a sense of tolerance and being able to withstand that kind of system without completely falling apart. The people who end up here are frequently the most deprived or disenfranchised, but I have a good feeling about them as people. Otherwise, I don't think I could function in the job that I'm in, because I'm frequently raising questions about how they're being treated as people.
Sometimes it's a small thing. Welfare money for a wife. Difficulty with a lawyer. At times, Williams may be faced with a problem relating to the whole institution. In the case of this prison, Williams is trying to determine the need for a suicide prevention program.
Little my own?
Yes,
That's the cousin. That's the little cousin.
Yes.
Dr. Russell.
He must try to open communications between the staff and the inmates. Often that means listening as much as it does talking.
decisions are being made by people who aren't in a position or competent to make that initial decision.
With an investigation completed, T. Williams presents his recommendations in a report to the state authorities and policymakers. They are learning to trust him, to expect honesty and toughness in his efforts on behalf of the prisoners.
I see myself as being expendable, and I think I have to feel that way about it, because if I am going to be ready to take a stand that might be controversial, I also must be ready to lose my job.
I would like to begin by reading parts of a copy of a letter that I sent to the governor, and a similar letter was sent to...
Ultimately, his responsibility is to the people. Just as the incarceration of the offender is the decision of the people in the society, so the treatment of these men is their responsibility.
For the residents of our correctional institution.
Williams and his office staff today presented a list of 17 recommendations they feel will help protect the suicidal inmate from himself. The recommendations include increased use of community resources like mental health facilities, reduction of isolation units, upgraded psychiatric services.
The idea of a prison ombudsman is new to this country. The idea of making available, even to offenders against society, an effective voice on their own behalf depends on the patience, tolerance, and above all, optimism of a man like Theophilus Williams.